It is amazing to me, remarkable to me, that with all of the talk, with all of the continuing conversation about Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and their crimes, not just against humanity, but against children, that when Donald Trump opens up his fucking mouth and talks about this matter, it's not them who are evil. It's not Jeffrey Epstein. He never gets called evil. He gets called a creep, I guess, once or twice by Donald Trump. But Ghislaine Maxwell, no, he wishes her well. When Donald Trump saves that type of vitriolic language and venom about being evil, he talks about Democrats who want the Epstein files released. When he talks about people being stupid or dupes or whatever he's talked about, he saves that kind of language for his base who want the Epstein files released. It should be illuminating to Republicans who are still hanging on to some kind of a hope, some glimmer of hope that Donald Trump doesn't or hasn't. Because as each day passes, I am more and more certain that that is the case. Because otherwise, why fight so diligently to not release the Epstein files, to not release this information that you claim, especially in this first clip, that you claim you want released? More than anything, I want all the details out there in the public. So says Donald Trump. So says Mike Johnson. But then they never release them. Well, we want them released. We want the truth to come out. Then do it. You got the power. You're in power. Do it. But here is Donald Trump, while waxing desirous of the release of this information, he's denigrating Hillary Clinton and other Democrats, and none of it makes any sense. But just know, we are evil, and Jeffrey Epstein, he's a terrific fella.
First of all, the files were run by some very bad people and very sick people like Comey and Lisa, the whole group, all those people in that office. They ran those files for 4 years. And if they were going to use the files, they would have used it before my election. Right. Because unless they're stupid, which to a certain extent they are stupid.
You're saying they would have released the information?
Well, they had the files. They control the files. Yes. I didn't control the files. They controlled the files for 4 years. So if they had something, they would have released it before the election. Because they are not geniuses, but, they're evil. Right. There are a lot of evil people. So I can't really tell you much other than Todd went in, and I think he just wants to make sure that innocent people aren't hurt. But you'd have to speak to him about it.
Okay. I want to ask you about this.
So the files that were fraudulently created to harm Donald Trump don't contain anything. Otherwise, they would have been released. That's what he's saying. There's nothing there, so why not release them? Why not release these fake files, these fraudulently created files that were meant to hurt you, that were created with the sole intent of harming Donald Trump? Why not release them if there's nothing there? By your own account, Donald Trump. These evil people who have done this. Same interview. Moments separate what I'm getting ready to play for you and that moment that you just watched. He's talking about evil Hillary Clinton, yet when given the prospect, given the question, posed the question to him about pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell, who is a convicted facilitator of sex-trafficked children, he leaves it open for pardon. She's not evil. She deserves justice and clemency from the system. But Hillary Clinton is evil. She needs to be punished. She needs to pay the price, they're saying, which is the next video I'm going to do. But Ghislaine Maxwell, she needs the mercy of the Department of Justice. She's not evil. She's maybe even a victim. Watch this.
Let me ask you, Mr. President, just about pardons. I've got 3 names for you. And the first one, look, the media didn't care about this story. when Joe Biden was in office. Suddenly they care about this story
Right.
again. Ghislaine Maxwell serving 20 years in prison for sex trafficking. Is clemency on the table for her in exchange for testimony?
I'm allowed to do it, but nobody's asked me to do it. I know nothing about it. I don't know anything about the case, but I know I have the right to do it. I have the right to give pardons. I've given pardons to people before, but nobody's even asked me to do it.
We know you've given pardons before, brother. Trust us, we know. Roger Stone knows. Rick Gates knows. Paul Manafort knows. 1,600 insurrectionists who attempted to overthrow the United States government violently. They know that you can issue pardons. We know anybody who even have a cursory understanding of the Constitution of the United States, or those of us who actually take our oath to it seriously, know that you have been granted this power by the Constitution. You don't need to keep reinforcing that you have I'm allowed to do it. I'm allowed to do it. We know, dumb f***. We know. It's, are you going to do it? The curious thing here is that really, it cements in my mind, or at least it's cementing in my mind, that Donald Trump is going to do it. Whether it be clemency or a full pardon, it's gonna happen, because this language that he's using, talking about I'm allowed to do it, I don't know anything about it, no one's come to me yet, I don't know. He's done this before with other pardons that ultimately he pardoned. Mike Flynn, his disgraced former national security advisor, who was having secret conversations with Russia before Donald Trump was even president, who was an unregistered foreign agent, who has talked about, we need a Myanmar-style coup here in the United States. Those are words coming out of his mouth. That guy got a pardon, and Donald Trump used this same kind of language when talking about it before he did it. So just know, in the mind of Donald Trump, in the mind of so many MAGA Americans, Hillary Clinton is evil, and Jeffrey Epstein's a terrific guy. James Comey is a dangerous character. People who do my job are dangerous, evil people. But Ghislaine Maxwell, yeah, he's allowed to pardon her. Is he going to get away with this? Maybe that's the overarching question that I would ask you. You can talk about it in the comments. We can also, I open my voicemail line. I don't open it. It's constantly open. 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. I do want to hear from you. Thanks for joining me today. Working on a Saturday. But how could I not with this interview? Wow. Anyway, I love and appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Follow me on Blue Sky and all the social media except for the Nazi Twitter. You should not be on the Nazi Twitter. Everywhere I am at Dollemore. Really pushing hard on Facebook right now. I would love for you to follow me there and share my content there. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.